Hey everyone, I have another nail tutorial for you today. This fun stripes and flower design I created using Sharpies. Always start off with a good base coat. I'm using C&D Sticky Base, and then the polish that I'm featuring today is Essie Shades On. This is new from their spring collection this year, and I have an entire review of live swatches of that collection, and I'll put the link down below for that. And this is my 10th spring polish pick. I picked a total of 10, and I'm doing a nail design for each one, and this is the last one that I'm doing. So if you want to check out my other designs that I use with my other favorites, go ahead and check them out on my YouTube channel. And I'll also put the video review down where I talk about my favorite spring polishes, and I'll put it down in the description bar below. Okay, so I put 2 coats of this on all my nails except for my ring and middle finger where I used Essie Blanc. So I did 2 coats of Essie Blanc, and then after I did that, I did 1 coat of this fast dry top coat on all my nails and let that dry. I'm going to start off with a striped accent, so I'm using these What's Up Nails regular straight tape, and I'm going to put those where I want them on the nail. I put some on and then I decided I wanted to space them a little differently, so then I just am readjusting those. So space those out the way that you want them and get the stickers on, and then make sure they're pressed down completely. Once I have that all pressed down and on there tight, I'm going to go in with my Essie Licorice, and I applied it a little too thick, but that's okay. You can also sponge this on if you want to. I just think sometimes that's messy and I don't want to deal with the hassle. So go ahead and put that on, and when you're finished, immediately take those off. If there's any areas that got black on the white where you don't want it, just go ahead and use your brush and some pure acetone and clean that up. I'm also using this smudge brush, and I'll have a link down below to the products I'm using. And I like to use this for cleanup, and I'm just going to clean that up with pure acetone as well. Let's go on with the Sharpie part. So I already did one part of this, so this is what it looks like when you mix a Sharpie and some rubbing alcohol. And I did 1 petal, and I'm going to move on to the next petal, but I'm using these Sharpies. These are the colors that I chose for this design: a purple, a pink, an orange, and a blue. Next I'm going to come in with the pink, and you're just going to draw that onto a paper plate. And then I'm going to come in with my brush, and I'm going to use this rubbing alcohol to kind of smear that color out. And it just gives it that watercolor consistency. So once I have that as rich of a shade that I want it, I'm going to go ahead and paint on my next petal. Next you're going to come in with your blue, and you're just going to draw that on. My markers were having a little bit of a hard time because my lights are really hot, but you're just going to go back in after you've cleaned your brush off and get the blue pigment. And then paint on the next color. And as you can see, this kind of gives the outside a darker edge, which is a really cool effect, so I like that. Once that has dried and the rubbing alcohol has evaporated, you're going to come in and do the same thing with your orange. And just to let you know, I did try this with regular markers just to see if it worked, and it doesn't work. It has a hard time just adhering to the nail. It just kind of bubbles up, so you really need to use permanent markers. Finished with the orange, you can go ahead and just use rubbing alcohol by itself on the brush and make a little center. And it dries really pretty quickly. This is it on both hands, and I'm going to come in and with my black polish just do small little polka dots in the center of each flower. I let this dry for at least 10 to 15 minutes just to make sure that the black polish doesn't smear when I do my top coat. But when it's all dry, go ahead and apply your top coat. I'm using HK Girl by Glisten and Glow. And that's the final look. I hope you guys like this. I'm excited to try more designs with these Sharpies. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks!